There are times in a chap's life when he agrees to do things, but at the same time feels a little bit of a fraud. I've agreed to teach guitar. Those of you that know will understand that I can't play the guitar. I can make noises with it. I can play a guitar well enough to know that the guitar works. You know, if we think about the Raimundo, this guitar came to me with a split that ran all the way around it, and I've repaired it, I've restrung it, I've made it work, and the only way to know that it works is to work it. But in truth, I'm not a guitarist. However, I have had a serious and decent request to show how I played a Harry Belafonte track, Oh Island in the Sun. And yeah, let's do that, shall we? The request was genuine. I will show you what it is that I do. You never know, I might even be able to explain some of the fingering and some of the chords and such likes. I am not a guitarist. Let's see how this works. Now the clever guys, they demonstrate, and while they demonstrate they talk, and they say this is what I'm doing and these are the strings that I'm doing things with, and they jabber away whilst they play. What they always do is they belt through it. They belt through it like that to pretend that they're really good and really cool guitarists. And what I always find is when someone does that, I'm struggling to follow and I'm pausing the video and I'm really having troubles with it. So let's break that down. We're not going to do any fancy intros, we're just going to play a bit of melody. This is about enjoying yourself and having fun. It's not about playing at Glastonbury or anything like that. The guitar is standard tuned. I'm going to use the Raimundo because it's a nice broad neck, and with a bit of luck you'll be able to see what it is that I'm doing. And what we're going to do, we're going to start on a straightforward D chord. That's this little finger on that string there. You can see first fret, second fret, that string. This finger goes on that string there, and this finger fits nicely on there. It gives us a straightforward D chord. Now, it's a matter of preference whether you want to use a plectrum or your thumb or your forefinger. This is fun. This isn't technical sort of brilliance. This is just a bit of fun. I've got some other plectrums. I've got a plectrum cutter, and sometimes, you know, we use various different things. Now we're going to go from that basic D chord to a basic G chord. Now there's two ways, there's plenty of different ways of holding the basic G chord. I tend to use this finger on that string, the top string, this finger on there, and this little finger down here, can we see that, on that string. that isn't necessarily what your book is going to show you. Your book is probably going to show you that way round. Nothing wrong with that, just that I tend to play that way because more often than not we're going to be going to a different chord shape which is going to use fingers differently. Okay, common sort of chord moves will be from a G to a C, and if we're sort of struggling that way we end up sort of making some major moves. So I'm going to hold it, that finger there, that finger there, that little finger on the bottom string. So where were we? Oh yeah, we started with the D. Now we're going to go to the A chord, and again this is one of those chords that I had a huge amount of trouble with because I've got great big fat fingers. But the A chord, the basic A chord, is that finger there on that string, 2, 3. We are holding 3 strings all in the same fret. Now if you can't do that you might swap your fingers over, but the important thing is to hold those 3 strings. I can do it on this guitar that way round, and if the action on the guitar is set right you should find that easy. Of course, when you start mentioning technical and clever stuff like that, people are going to say, what do you mean the action? Another video perhaps. Right, the basic A chord, and of course you start with that string, the 5th string. So where were we? I lost the place really. D. With me so far? D, G, A, G, now having got back to that D, we're going to play the D, but this time we're not going to hit the 1st string. We're going to leave that one alone and we're going to stop the chord there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull all the fingers off, and if you've read the book you will have read all about hammer-ons and pull-offs and things like that. Where were we? Yeah, I got a little bit lost there. Right. D, G, A, G, D, stop the D on that string there, come off completely, pluck the 1st string, but then hammer on. Open string. open string. Right, have a go at that, see how you get on. Of course, what we really want you all to do is to be better than that, but to make a video of it. There is a next bit to this tune, but I think that can wait for another lesson.